puts a foot on both those and he takes care of that district. I don't want that job. Can we make sure Rick keeps it? Rick, talk to them.
Thanks, Joe. Oh, hey, hold your applause. It's really makes it great. Thanks so much.
No music for you, buddy boy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the last time I stood on a stage with a microphone, I was up there 18 minutes telling one-liner jokes. So I didn't bring my note card, so I won't do that tonight. But I appreciate folks coming out tonight, despite Joe's invitation to come see me. And no, I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. I do want to talk a little bit about the race. I want to talk a little bit about my day today, because it was basically a North Whidbey Island kind of day for me. And then I got some time for questions. And a lot of times I don't do Q&A at fundraisers because I don't want them to become town halls. But in the past, when Joe has kindly opened up the household to allow me to come here and raise money and talk about the election, we've always done some Q&A, so I want folks to think of those questions. Be ready for that. That won't be a requirement, but I'm ready to answer any questions. So thanks for coming out. The election is kind of crazy this year in my race. It's the first time in 9 terms. I'm running for my 10th term. Thank you. And I'm sorry, I'm running for my 10th term. Does that matter? No, I'm running for my 10th term. It's the first time in that time since in 2000. I do not have what normally folks would say is a mainstream Republican running against me. I'll applaud that, but there's a Green Party, independent, a Libertarian, there's another Democrat, a younger guy, and then there's a guy who says he's a moderate GOP member, and it's Mike the Mover. And for those who've been around a while, Mike the Mover has run for 20 times in 30 years as Mike the Mover. Not only is this the first time he's ever run against me, it's the first time he's run under a different name, Uncle Mover. So it's going to be really different for him this year. The point I want to make is that this is all kind of a humorous and somewhat condescending way to make a point about my opponents, but it's that in this district, the mainstream GOP didn't put someone out there to run in this race. I don't know why that happened. I'm happy that it happened, but we do need to, in this campaign, reach out to those moderate Republican members to make sure they have a place to go to where maybe the representative from Congress, myself, is not going to agree with them as much as they want, but will listen to them, take their voices into account, and try to make some decisions that are at least inclusive of some of their thoughts. You can't, I've learned in 18 years, you can't please everybody all the time, you can't fool them all the time, and paraphrase the great President Abraham Lincoln, but you can try to represent everybody as much as possible, and you will always fail when you do that, but you do need to try, and I think that's hopefully one of the hallmarks of my time in Congress, and will continue to be so in the future. So I was on North Whidbey today, and thinking about the issues I met with folks regarding the issues that I met people about. One was the environment. I was in Walla Bay this morning with the Land Trust. We were out there looking at the restoration project that's taking place and their desire to expand what they're doing, and may require some federal money coming through the Pacific Coast Salmon Recovery Fund, which is a $65 million fund, federal fund that is used on the West Coast to help restore salmon habitat. I'm the leader in Congress every year to try to demonstrate to the appropriators and folks who write the spending bills that this is important. It's important to the West Coast, it's important to Washington State, and that we can be successful in restoring salmon habitat for the Pacific Northwest. And it's great to be out there. I wish I was still standing there. I would be standing there for 9 hours just staring at the weather, staring at the sun, staring at the water, at the birds, It's just a great example of why we love the Pacific Northwest. The environment here is really attracts people, and it is worth preserving because it is part of why we're here in the Northwest. And that was one thing. Next, I went to CMAR, the office near Seabolt Seafood. I'm sure everyone knows Seabolt Seafood is. Right next door to Seabolt's. I went to CMAR, where they have a behavioral health and chemical dependency or substance abuse facility there. Just talk to them about the people they're serving and why they're serving those folks. And the long and short of it is opioid epidemic in the Pacific Northwest is acute. It's very serious, and it's important as part of addressing that problem is to not look at opioid addiction or meth addiction as necessarily a crime as much as for a lot of these folks it's an addiction, and it requires us to help those folks as opposed to treat them strictly as criminals and throw them in jail. We don't need our county jails, whether it's here on Whidbey Island or in Snohomish County where I'm from. Our jails should not be our number one drug rehab facility. They should not be our number one mental health facilities. We should have places for these folks to go to